All right, we are moving to target A, day 3. So we're still on the same target, but now we're learning for day 3 because now we're going to find the slope by using algebra, which again means that we have to use an equation. And that equation is given to you in the top over here in your notes. Nothing changes, it's still the same thing. When we find the slope in a graph, we move up and down first because it's a change of y, which again, all your y values should be on top of the fraction, while all your x values should be on the bottom of your fraction because that represents when you move left and right. All right, so now we're going to be using this equation. When do you use this equation? When you don't have graphs. When you have graphs, all you have to do is find your 2 points, because there's always going to be 2 points, and you just count the difference between the first one to the second one. Just don't forget that you go up and down first, then left and right. Well, with the equation, we're going to do it the same thing, but now we're doing with points because it's so much easier to find out when we are given numbers. I cannot count how much I'm going up and down. I will have to use a formula. It just makes so much sense when you use the formula. So you're going to be given tables and coordinate points, okay? And you should be able to find the slope no matter what. All right, as you can see on the first table right here, you need to know how to read the table. As you can see, the top column for this table is all your x values. This is x, and hey, they're telling you this is the first number for x, this is the second number for x, this is the third number, this is the fourth number. So that's where x1 and x2 come from. This is the first number, so it's called x1. This is the second number, so it's x2. This is the third number, this is the fourth number. Again, if you notice in your equation right here, you're only going to be using the first and the second. So technically, I'm going to be only using these two. Okay, I just wanted you to know that we can label the rest of it. All right, and f of x means y. As you should know already, we wrote it in your purple foldable. F of x means y. So this is our first value of y, the second, the third, and the fourth. So once again, let me label y1, y2, y3, and y4. And once again, if you pay attention to your equation up here, you're only going to be using y1 and y2. So let me rewrite the equation right here. It's just going to make sense when you rewrite the equation over and over again. That way you don't get confused. All right, so here we go. Y2, I'm going to plug in a number for Y2. Y2 is right here. What number is that? -6. Every time you have negative numbers, make sure you put them in parentheses. If not, you're going to get confused. All right, next, minus. Minus, that's a subtraction sign. My y1 is right here. What number is that? -12. I'm putting in parentheses. I'm going to put -12. All right, over, and I'm going to the x values. x2. x2 is up here. What number is that? 0. Minus, okay, x1 is right here, and again, minus x1. What number is that? -3. I put that in parentheses because it's a negative number. And all you have to do now is do the math. -6 minus -12 is going to be +6. Once again, if you're not good with mental math, then I suggest that you always grab a calculator once you come into class. All right, you're not using your phones for this, so make sure you grab one. All right, next, 0 minus -3 is actually +3. So my answer is 6/3. If I was to graph this, you need to understand that this means the same thing. I was to graph this, the top means I'm going to go up and down because it's a +6. I'm actually going to go up 6, and I'm going to move to the right 3 times because it's a +3. Okay, so you need to understand that as well. Like, what does this slope mean? Well, it means that I'm going to be moving up 6 and I'm moving to the right 3. Okay, you're trying this on your own. And I'm moving on to the next problem. These are called coordinate points. You should know that every coordinate point has an x value and a y value, any of them. Okay, don't forget that I told you we need to label which one is your x1 and x2, y1 and y2. As you can see, you have 2 points, and that's all you really need. Once again, I told you that this has an x and this is our y. For this coordinate point, the x value is 5, the y is 6. For this other point, x is 4 and y is 3. All I have to do is now label them, which one is 1 and which one is 2. Well, this is the first point they gave me, so guess what? It's going to be 1 and 1. This is x1 and y1. This is the second point, so this is going to be x2 and y2. Once you have your numbers labeled, once again, rewrite the equation. It's just going to make sense when you start rewriting it. That way you don't get confused and you don't mess up anything. All right, because a lot of people get me confused. They either write the x values on top or they switch it. They put y1 first and then y2. Make sure you follow the order. All right, here we go. Y2. Y2 is right here and it's for the number 3. So it's 3 minus y1. Y1 is over here, which is 6 over x2. Okay, that's when we're subtracting. X2 is right here, which is 4 minus x1. X1 is over here, which is 5. So once again, I just do the math. 3 minus 6 gives me -3. And 4 minus 5 gives me -1. Once again, what does this mean? This means that we are going to be going down 3 and to the left 1. Because it's -3 means I'm going down. Because remember, on top, you're moving up and down. And on the bottom of the fraction, you're moving left and right. Because it's a -1, you're moving to the left side. Try this one on your own. Okay. The next type of table is this one. I'm pretty sure we've seen so many times already, but once again, you need to understand the table. All the x values are on the left side of this table, so this is the first number of x. This is the second number, so let me label that x1 and x2, and I can keep going. Remember that. I can keep going. Do I really care about 3 and 4? Not really, because my formula only has the first 2 points. So there you go. The next one has f of x, which means y. This is the first number y. This is the second number y. So let me label that as well. This is y1, y2. So here we go again. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So here we go. y2 is right here, which is 6, minus your y1. Y1 is right here, which is 4, over x2. X2 is over here, -6. Make sure you put that in parentheses. And once again, notice how I'm giving the y's in one color and the x's in one color. It's because I want you to get familiar with that, especially if you know you're struggling with this. Change your colors, okay? If you have different color pens, maybe use them. All right, the next one, minus x1. X1 is right here, which is -3. Put that in parentheses because it's negative numbers. So my answer for this is 6 minus 4. That gives me 2. Oops, let me change that color too. There you go. 2 and -6 minus -3. That's actually going to give me -3. Once again, what does this mean? That means that I'm going to go up 2 and then to the left 3 because that 3 is negative. That 2 is positive, so I go up. All right, you try the next one on your own. And the last problem that I'm doing with you is the last one right here to the right side. Just because it says through the points 6, 7, and the origin. That means that this is the second point. What does that origin mean? That means that it's just 0, 0. So that's your second point. Once again, this is x and y. This is the first point, so it's 1 and 1. This is your second point, so it's x2 and y2. Okay, my formula is y2, which is 0, minus y1, which is 7, over x2, which is 0, minus x1, which is 6. So my answer in this one is just going to be -7 over -6. All right. I just wanted you to go over it with you because of the origin point. I need you to understand order means just 0, 0. Okay? All right, make sure you finish all the other problems on your own and make sure you get it checked by me.